If you've ever put your home up for sale, you know there are several things you should consider to prepare. Lynn, what do you think most people don't realize when they're getting ready to list their property?
I think the number one thing most people don't realize is as soon as they buy a home, they need to be thinking about the day that they're going to sell the home. So the problem I see is that many people buy the home and they just keep it in good working order with the mechanicals in great operation and the roof, things like that. But they forget about the aesthetics of the house, and that is just as important.
So you're saying someone should be consciously working on the aesthetics of their home? Carpeting,
yes.
Light fixtures,
yes,
paint.
Absolutely. And that's why so many homes you'll see will sit on the market a long time and not sell, because they haven't done that. So they need to think about it all the time. Keep things up to date. Like if you have a home that maybe you bought in the 80s, but you haven't changed out the carpet, you haven't changed light fixtures. Styles change, just like clothing styles change. We don't wear the same clothes we wore in the 70s or the 80s, What people don't realize is the home loses value if you don't keep those items up to date as well. It's actually losing value. Also, if you do them as you live in the home, you get to enjoy them all those years. But most people wait, and then they also have to spend all this money, to update everything, and then they're going to go and sell it.
So oftentimes I think people have a misconception that someone's going to come in and change the colors, change the carpeting, so they put no importance in those items. You're saying that is important.
Yes, every time I bring this up, almost every time that I bring this up to somebody that has not kept things up to date, they say, well, why would I do it? Because the buyer's going to want to choose their own, make their own selections. So why would I do that? Then they're just going to rip it all out. Well, that's not the point. The point is that the buyers today are so busy with their lives and their jobs, they don't want to go through the trouble of having to update the house. Just like you, the seller, you don't want to go through the aggravation. Well, they don't either. So most buyers are going to move on to another house that is really dialed in, and that means down to the details. First impressions, like when you go to the front door and the doorbell maybe is broken, and
keeping in mind the exterior along with the interior.
And details. The front door handle maybe is all pitted. You can't have those things. It just, when people see little things like that, they think what big things are wrong that they haven't kept up with, that I maybe can't see.
What do you and your team do differently?
Well, we call it active listing versus passive listing. So I think the old school way of real estate sales was get the listing, sign the agreement, put the sign in the yard, and then hope somebody else, another member of the MLS, will come along and sell it. You hope you might sell it yourself, but just hope. So what we like to do differently is we like to work and partner with our clients and really get this home ready to market. If we price it right and we get the condition right, then it's going to sell quickly and for the highest price.
How soon should someone prepare their house? Is there a time frame before the listing begins?
Yeah, I would say about 6 months before you think you want to put the house up for sale, you should probably start interviewing realtors and brokers. And so you might want to just choose 3 different companies, and we recommend you look at and do a little research online and find somebody that is very focused in their job, not just doing it as a side gig, very focused, very creative, and proven, and see if you can find a lot of testimonials on them and maybe stats that show that they are really good at what they do.
Excellent. And all of that information is, as we well know, available on the internet, and we can find this information everywhere.
That's right.
Oh, great. Lynn, very interesting. Thank you for all your insights.